And I'm live at a stable kbps and fps. And today we will continue building my holes, not continue building my holes, but my blog site, which is named holes, which is named hole, not holes. And yeah, I was unable to do much on that side because I was not like Vim was not working fine there. Emacs ls. I have to Windows Tmux attach target hole. Why is it called hole 0? But now it is working. I am getting full LSP support and all LSP for Tailwind, but still there is a problem, and it is the problem. No, no, no. Hmm. Yeah. The problem is this. I have to make my changes, then save them, and then stop the server and run it in production level. I do the one dev server is not working fine due to some reason. Shit, and my key map just broke. Shit, my key map just broke. Let me fix that. Keyboard. I have remapped my alt key to be my control key, and that is pretty cool. Yep, option key would mean control. Option would mean control. Control would mean control. Globe would mean control. Yep, all of them are control keys, and it helps me in Tmux. See, yep, it is fine now. And yeah, I'm getting auto suggestions and everything, and I'm using shad cn and stuff like that. So app.tsx hello world, and I should see localhost hello world here, and I do not see hello world here. Fuck. Restart the server. Bun dev. No, dev is not working. That is the problem. Bun dev is not working, but bun start is working. Hello world with the same TypeScript that I have given. BG black and text white. I can delete it, and I am also getting LSP support. See, BG blue 200 and text red 900. Save, go there, stop this, run it again, and restart. Yes, so it is working. I can increase the size, font, bold, light. How do I increase the size? Can stretch, or maybe it is something from text, large, LX. I can open Tailwind, not here, but in another window. Put this here. Tailwind, go to this website and Command K, font size, text, okay, text 9 XL. Let's go. Text 9 XL, yes. Save, go there, Control C, button start, refresh, 9 XL. That is cool. Erically, no competitive programming today. No, Code Forces is down right now. Yeah, see, Code Forces is down right now. I was streaming competitive programming, then I stopped it, and now I have to do this. Okay, so this is working. Now API tester Does it have something that I need? It is importing. No, it doesn't have anything that I need. I can simply delete this front end. This file is the entry point for the React app. It sets up the root. Okay, that is cool. I would need it. Index dot CSS, I would need it. HTML, I would need it. And I will also make some changes in the HTML. Server, I do not need it. I can just delete it. Logo.svg, delete it. This also delete it. And yep. Now I would like to have tmx detach. And where is my logo? The logo is wait, programming project whole and copy from root apply documents YouTube. What do I have? Not dinosaur. Thumbnails, holes. I have MC Escher, impossible cube, and paste it here. And here I should have MC Escher. Now move MC Escher to source, cd source, and rename this to move MC Escher to logo.png and tmx attach target is whole. How do I change the name of a session? How to change name of a session in Tmux? Run Tmux new session name. No, I want to change the name, not create a new session. Rename a session. How do I? G superuser.com. When I first started using Tmux, I didn't give my first session a name. Then I started creating different sessions for different tasks, work, play, etc. Okay, you play in your terminal. That is cool. I started naming my sessions. Now I have a bunch of different sessions, but the first one doesn't have a name. How can I rename or how can I name or rename it both? B percent sign. Okay, a long way with the rename session command. Okay, I can rename session target whole to whole. Now tmx attach target whole and yeah, and shit, I should have seen the thing here. And source logo.png, it is here. Index.html, change this from svg to png and go from this to logo.png and where is no, keep that as it is and title. Oh shit, okay. uh, this will be named hold and see start when start shit. What is the error? Manuscript start index.tsx, module not found index.tsx. Oh shit, okay. Index.tsx, I deleted it. Fuck, so it was important. Shit, I guess it was serving the index.html file. Uh, in which case I would have to remove this whole thing and start from scratch. Shit. Uh, and go back and rf whole and make their whole pd whole one init a react thing with shared cnn tailwind. Okay, cool. and one start. I should see something. I do see something. Thing and bun dev is still not working. Refresh. Yep, bun dev is not working. It is like something wrong with bun dev itself, not with my code. And here, here, lazy, update the plugins. Go back, go to whole, into source, and wait, I have git ignore here. That is cool. Yeah, that is cool. Go to source, API tester. I can delete that. Yep, frontend.tsx, that is the entry point. It renders tsx. It's index.csx. CSS, I can remove that. Remove all of this. Frontend index.csx. HTML, I will make some changes there. And index.html necessary. And this is also necessary. Yep, this serves index.html. So that is important. Low.svg, deletable. This also deletable. And in app, I can do remove these two, and then actually remove all of these things. And here write hello world or something better. We need lorem ipsum. No, shit. What is? I think therefore I am. No, yeah, shit. I think therefore I am not. I don't think therefore I am not. That is cool. And last name, well, text is going to be pretty large with background black and text not white but gray 800 I guess would be fine. And yeah, something else, yes, index.html, some changes I would like to make there. Stop this first of all, go back ls, oh shit, and go to holes and go to documents, YouTube, thumbnail, holes, and CSR into here. Permission denied. Okay, shit. CP. Yeah, all the other thing. And now move MC Azure to source slash logo dot png, and here frontend.txt, yes, logo dot png, change this also to png, and delete till this thing will be called whole. And yep, that seems cool. And one start. I don't think, therefore I'm not, and I see hole and hole there. That is cool. But this will be very hard to work. It will be very hard to work like this because I have to stop the server and then run it again and again, and it is not very cool to do stuff like that. Bun star, and I do want to use bun as my bundler. Let's see, app.tsx, index.tsx. Nah, I can change the background. Yeah, Now, mm, working with the actual website. Shit, I haven't actually thought what to do with this, and that is crazy. I don't think, therefore I am not. App.csx. Change this to 100, and I don't think it would reflect here automatically. Yep, I have to stop the server and then burn start again. Shit, that is almost white. Uh, replace by free. Burn start, refresh. That is better, I think. Replace by 5. Let's see. Hmm, 400. And let's see. Yeah, that is cool. And now, how is the website going to look like? I don't know. It will be fetching. Okay, I think I created something on Excalibur. Yep, this thing. There's my database. There's my front end. This is what I'm working on. There will be my database, and some way database front end should be able to send a request to database and get data back. That is all front end needs, and then it will render that data. Now my CLI dispatcher will take my .md files in which I have written the things that I have to write, and it will put that data onto the database. And okay, yeah, we can begin by looking at the database that we are going to use. I guess NeonDB would be fine. Wait, I can use NeonDB, or I could, yeah, NeonDB is fine. It seems fine. Ship for free, talk to us. I would want my website to be pretty beautiful with scaling animations and everything. Shit, blazingly fast search. This is amazing. Reliable, high compatibility. Is it the same animation happening at random intervals? This is actually cool. Thousands of databases, zero overhead. Login. Let me hide my screen for a minute. Login with Google, with my account, of course. And yeah, we are good to go. I don't think there is anything sensitive which I should not put out. CLI chat. Okay, and this was some database that I was working on. Settings, I can delete it. And some delete this thing. Delete project. Yep. CLI chat. Delete. And yep, it is permanently deleted. Create project name. It will be called whole Postgres. Okay, Postgres. Database name whole Azure AWS. I can select the region Asia Pacific, Sydney or Singapore, and create. Should they have a server on Singapore? In Singapore, that is cool. Okay, NeonDB under the hood is, it is just an abstraction for AWS. I connect your database, that is what I want. I can import data. I do not have any data already. Go to billing, connect, install MCP server. I do not know what MCP is, and get sample data. No, let me connect. compute primary active role. Shit. Yes, the password is hidden. That is cool. Postgres. This is the thing. Okay. Okay, either I have now two options. I can either use a library like what is the abstraction library over a SQL. Shit, database library in JavaScript. What is it called? SQL FDB. Uh, uh, Shit, what was the name of that library which we can use? JavaScript library to connect to database. ORM, no, object relational model. Node.js, yeah, Node.js library. ORM, object relational mapping. Yes, ORM libraries. Postgres SQLite server. Prisma. Yes, Prisma. Prisma was the one I was thinking about. Equalizer is one, another one. Oh yeah, either I can use an ORM, that is object relational mapping libraries, provide an abstraction layer allowing you to interact with the database using JavaScript objects instead of raw SQL queries. Popular choices include Sequelizer, Prisma, and TypeORM. But I will not be using ORMs. I will have a direct connection and write custom queries, which is not hard, which is like basic elementary stuff. Direct database drivers allow you to write and execute raw SQL queries. Examples include MySQL, PG, or Postgres. These are like exact CLIs. Okay, but I need something to fetch data from the library. Okay, let me ask ChatGPT for that. Is is there a JavaScript library which connects to a Postgres database and can only read data and not write data to it? I am using Postgres to store data, but I don't want to have a server which fetches data from the database and then pushes it to the client. I want my site to be mm, purely front end, which fetches data from the database and shows it to the client, and should not have any it should not have yeah it should not have any it uh, should not have any right privileges. Let's see. Security and architecture trade-offs. Okay. Postgres was never designed to be accessed directly from a browser. There is no built-in authentication system, no protection. Shit, you are still asking technical possible solution. But risky. Give a read-only role to PostgreSQL. Okay, you can create a Postgres user with only select privileges. That's cool. Okay. Then you can use this user in a front-end library that can speak Postgres over WebSockets or TCP, assuming CORS proxy is set up. Shit, okay. Use a JS library that can connect to Postgres. There are Node libraries like this, but won't work in the browser, only Node. To run it in a browser, you'd need to use Postgres over HTTP or WebSocket. Use Post REST, Supabase, or a similar hosted solution. Okay, maybe I can change the database. Read only databases from browser. Word database and the user accounts. This typically involves creating a dedicated user with restricted permissions, and potentially altering the database read-only state or using read replicants. Okay, I think it will work. Using NeonDB for my things will work. I can create another user database role and type to add new role. Okay, browser, add role browser, and shit, I can download the env on desktop, of course, on desktop. And then okay, I can change the user's privileges. Realistic approach in Supabase. Best fit for your case, Supabase is a back end as a service that wraps PostgreSQL and exposes a readable REST or GraphQL API and works entirely from the front end. Why it works for you? Pure front end integration, no custom server needed. Uses real Postgres under the hood. You can disable all write permissions by configuring a row level security RLS. Free tier available. Supabase. Okay, Supabase. That is why I was being hesitant from using Postgres, from using NeonDB, because it would be easy for me, it would be more comfortable for me to use NeonDB, but using Supabase would be better because I have not used Supabase before. Import client from Supabase, Supabase client, this, and my ANN key, and fetch data. Products not okay, that is cool. Or you can enforce the in user can only read. Okay, why not raw database accessible? Superbase. Let's go. J. Superbase. Sign in before. Let me hide my screen. I don't want to let the world know about my secret passwords and stuff. It seems to be logged in. Now we have to go. Free plan. One project. Okay, that is cool. Project is paused. Okay. The project portfolio is currently paused. Okay, I guess, yeah, once I went to an event in my college and there I made this portfolio project. Okay, makes sense. All of your project's data is still intact, but your project is inaccessible. While paused, restore this project and get back to building. Restore backup on your local machine. Guide, restore backup now. Let me delete this one. I would actually like to delete it. Can I delete it? I should be able to. The project has been paused for over 90 days and cannot be restored through dashboard. However, you can data remains still intact. Restore backup to a new server. Yeah, I don't want to restore. I just want to delete this portfolio. New project. Free project name. Whole database password typing is strong. Generate a password. Yep. Nope, not Ohio. Something closer to home. Mumbai would be cool. Security options, advanced configuration, create new project. save it. And project settings, storage, database, table. I have a lot of projects. Can I delete that one project? Welcome to your new project. Your project has been deployed on its own instance with its own API and all set up and ready to use. Get started by building out your database. Start building your app by creating tables and inserting data. Table editor, explore, storage, real-time API. You in JavaScript, if I want to connect, then just do this. Superbase URL and superbase key. How can I create user? Database authentication, I guess. Yeah. No users in project. Add users. Create new user. Is that how you create a new user? Okay. And user password auto confirm. User way. Let me hide my screen for a minute because this might be sensitive. Create new user. Send invitation. I can send an invitation to myself. And let me create a password. Wait, I will hide my screen. Just put in some password. Okay, user is created. One user is created. And second user. No. One user is created. And second sort by created all users, verified, unverified users. Let me show my screen back. Uh, Sign-in providers, sessions, connect, enable branching, feedback. I'm gonna change like the settings for this user. Send magic link, remove MFA factors, email configure, email provider, enabled SSO logs, raw JSON. Okay. Okay, I will have to delete the user and then create a new one because you guys can see the encrypted password, and maybe there could be some way through which you can get back the original one. Provider, all columns, sort all users. How can I create a user? How do I change the settings for this user? Reset password, send a magic link. Password list login via email for user. Danger zone, be wary of the following features. FMA, ban user, delete user. SSO, order information, logs. This user has not done anything, so yeah. Logs are empty. Configure email. No. Policy users. How do I do that? Superbase is backend as a service backend as a service, okay, that wraps Postgres and exposes a readable REST or GraphQL API and works entirely from frontend. Why it is useful? I can do this. Superbase from product. Use your in key. So this user should have a key. Let me go to documentation and read about Superbase. Oh, it is documentation. Request to demo, start your project, docs, and documentation, database. Storage Superbase provides a full Postgres database for every project with real-time functionality, database backups, extension, and more. Storage, store, organize, transform, and serve large files fully. This is the one. And what were the other things, by the way? Postgres modules, AI vectors, cron, cron tab is a daemon, is a Linux daemon. It is also in Mac, which can be used to run some script or some function after in specified intervals. Cool. This database. Every Superbase project comes with the full Postgres database, a free and open source database, which is considered one of the world's most stable and advanced database, DBMS. You don't have to be a database expert to start using Superbase. Our table view makes Postgres as easy to use as a spreadsheet. Relationships. Okay. Dig into relationships with your data. How? Okay, relationship in that sense. Okay. But what I want is files to upload, not a data like that. I want to upload files. I think I should be able to do that. Yes. This SQL editor, so always comes with SQL editor. That is cool. Fundamentals, connecting to your database and then importing data and all that. Connect to your database. Superbase provides multiple methods. Tools. Okay. Superbase provides multiple methods to connect to Postgres database, whether you are working on the front end, back end, or utilize serverless functions. How to connect to Postgres database? How you connect to your database depends on where you are coming from. For front end applications, use data API. For Postgres clients, use a connection string. Okay. Data API is the one to go with. Quick starts for all of these, and data APIs and client libraries. The data APIs allow you to interact with your database using REST or GraphQL requests. You can use these APIs to fetch and insert data from the front end as long as you have RLS enabled. The heck is RLS? Row level security. Okay, we will get into that. Enable REST and GraphQL. Yeah, REST and GraphQL for convenience. You can also use Superbase client libraries. Yeah, for JavaScript. And these are front end making once you can write front ends and not for websites, but for stuff you can write games in C Sharp and Kotlin for Android, Flutter also for Android. Now, direct connection, no. REST, but JavaScript. This is the one for us. Yes. This reference document documents every object and method available in Superbase. Isomorphic JavaScript library, Superbase JS. You can use Superbase JS to interact with your Postgres database, listen to database changes, invoke deno edge functions, build login and user management functionality, and manage large files. To convert SQL queries to Superbase JS, use the SQL to REST API translator. SQL queries to Superbase JS, use SQL to REST API translator. Okay. Install as a package via CDN. I can install as a package at Superbase/Superbase JS. Let me create another window, and this will be named terminal, go to projects, whole, and one install or one, and add super base, super base JS. Yep, we are good to go. And then use directly at runtime in Dino installation, installing and initialization. Create a new client to use. This seems smaller than this. This font is smaller than this font. Create a new client for user in the browser. Creating client. Okay, I can create a client like that. Const create client is a dot public enum key. Okay, the Superbase client is your entry point to the rest of the Superbase functionality and is the easiest way to connect with everything we offer within Superbase ecosystem. Parameters Superbase URL is required string, the unique Superbase URL which is supplied when you create a new project in your project dashboard. Superbase key, the unique Superbase key which is supplied when you create a new project in your project database. And options, okay, I need these two things: create client, mm, yeah, import Superbase, import create client from Superbase. Does this thing no? From Superbase at Superbase. Yep, no errors, so that is cool. And constant Superbase equals const Superbase equals create client and that stuff. Const Superbase equals create client, and this takes in some two things. So base is declared but never used. And let me go to my root, to the docs, go to dashboard, and go to holes, or go to portfolio. Nope, it is paused, so nope. This is the key and this is the URL. Paste and key. Yep, it is visible. It's quite fucking visible, but that is fine. I'll just delete the database later. And create a new one. Options, TypeScript support. Superbase has TypeScript support. Okay, generating TypeScript types. Superbase has TypeScript support for type inferences, auto completion, type safety queries, type safe queries, and more. With TypeScript, Superbase JS detects things like not null constraints and generate columns. Nullable columns are typed as t/null. Okay, and T is a generic. When you select the column generated, columns will show a type error when you insert to it. Okay, Superbase.js also detects relationships between tables. A reference table with one too many relationships is typed as this. Like a reference to one to one is like this. Okay, I can create types like this. Okay, using TypeScript definitions, Superbase client with types. Okay, what is going to be my type? upload files to Supabase. JavaScript upload a file. Yes, that is what I want. Delete empty bucket. Upload a file. Yes. Upload a file. Uh, Uploads a file to an existing bucket. Okay, bucket is something. Storage. Create a bucket. I would have to create a bucket and then. Okay, what is a bucket? Creates a new bucket. Storage bucket. RLS policy permission required buckets. Table permission. Insert data. Read Supabase. Wait. Supabase dot storage dot create bucket called avatars public files allowed mime types images file size limit is this and the response would be name error null. Okay, table permission insert mm, public false. Okay, I want to upload files and then retrieve them on the front end and retrieve them on the front end. Yes, that is it. Now you are talking about file storage on top of a front end only architecture. You want to upload files from the front end. No, no, and retrieve show them on the front end. And run without running your own backend server and restrict. So base storage, super base again fits perfectly here because it provides a managed S3 compatible object storage. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Yep. Shit, maybe my height decreased a bit too much. That is fine. Yo, I want to learn DSA. Where can I learn? Striver. And it is cool that you are asking me for advice. I think we are both at same level, 32% students. But yeah, this is what I'm doing. I've done just like 2%. And yeah, this is the place from where I am learning DSA. Then upload, retrieve without running your own backend server. Best tools for this Supabase. Supabase again fits here because it provides a managed S3 compatible object storage, a front-end friendly JavaScript SDK to upload and download files, public or private access to control. Create client, yes, get the client, and file input is document.query selector input file. Okay, get the file equals file input 0 file. Okay, await supabase dot storage dot from my bucket upload this retrieving public files. Okay, so bucket is the thing, right? My bucket upload file, this is to upload a file, and then to retrieve a file from my bucket do this. Okay, okay, supabase client. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Access control allow policy upload if authenticated. Supabase storage uses policies like the database. You can write policies like this. SQL allow create policy authenticated. My public bucket allow anyone to read in public buckets. Yes. Yeah, so here learning I Supabase has created a project for me. Now, do I have to create different users for it? Because I want to upload the file on upload the file from my side and get only read only permissions for the front end. I can create a bucket where only I can upload data and anyone can read the data. Right. Superbakes. Superbase. Bro, you do CP and trying to do this what? CP is far harder than DSA. For you, DSA is like level 1. Right? I have not studied DSA ever. I have only like done DSA questions, some on lead code and some advent of code questions. I have never studied DSA. So I want to study DSA. I want to see what kind of algorithms there are and what are different kinds of databases and data structures, and yeah, get familiar with the things, also familiar with the theory, not just the practical things, and yeah, practice and get better at it. And I think CP and DSA are very closely related. CP is just a very fast and practical way, not practical, but a very fast way to apply your DSA knowledge. Like it is like rapid chess, and DSA is like long term, long format, classical chess. Here is how to set it up in Superbase. Our goal, no one else can upload your, yeah, that is cool. Create a bucket in the Superbase dashboard. Go to settings, go to storage, create bucket, and public assets, enable public access. This makes the bucket readable by anyone, but not does not allow them to upload or delete unless you explicitly allow. Okay, create a bucket, then use the Superbase admin key for uploading files. Okay, this I can use on my front end, on my in my CLI app. Okay, this kind of client, then upload. Okay, this will be used in my CLI app, which puts thing on the database. Where do I go? Here, dashboard, in holes, bucket. Where can I create bucket? Database, storage, create new bucket. It will be called articles, and it will be public bucket. Public bucket. The name of the bucket must only contain lowercase letters. Okay. Articles. Public buckets are not protected. Users can read objects in public buckets without any authentication. Row level security RLS policies are still required for other operations such as object upload or delete. Yes, that is cool. I have created a bucket now. I can upload files directly or using JavaScript. I will be using JavaScript. Public read access. Let's see, http:// go. Files can be accessed like this. Oh shit, no shit. Okay, you can directly use this URL in your front end, no authentication required. Fucking hell, I can just use this. Okay, that is cool. Let me try and do that. My project is, what is the name of my project? It is called whole, but What is it actually like? No, this is it, not whole. This random thing. Paste, right? And file.png, some folder, public assets, yep. Articles slash hello.png, or more like logo.png, and there, this is where I will go. Logo.png, let me upload something. Storage, go to articles, which is a public thing. Open. Right, let me rename it. Can I yep, I can rename whole.png, and we should be cool. Let's see. Bra. Step photo not found. Object not found. Object public articles. Is it called articles or artic? It is called articles. Get URL. Even object public articles. Whole. Okay, slash slash. Okay, there have to be two slashes. Cool. That is cool. What was the original URL that I was looking up? Let's see. Some folder. Nope. Whole.png, not public asset, but articles. And in here, I will have the name. Yeah, there it is. This thing. Copy and paste, and this should not work. This does work, by the way. Okay. Okay, I can just upload and go there. But how will I get the things? Okay, can I create a folder? Create folder, right? Articles, and inside the folder, let's go inside. Drop files here. Can I just drop like this? Go to the folder and upload file to the folder. Let's see. Yes, this file inside the folder. Rename the file. Hold. I need the file and a few other things. Mhm. Yes. Okay. Okay. I can upload the files here and also create a table. Yeah, create a table which would have some things. Articles, description, like contains the meta data for the articles. And yeah, first one ID. Okay, cool. It will be an integer, and then the second one will be called title. It is not like this. Add column. It will be called title, and type will be text. uh, Default value is null. Yeah. Add column title URL. Yeah, yeah, to URL. It will also be text and date, the date when it was uploaded, date, take the time, and author is just me. And is there something else that I would like to add? Maybe a photo, photo, photo to describe it. Yeah, yeah. Um, icon, and it will also be a text because it will be text. Wait, can I have a photo? I don't think. Yep, I cannot. It will be text which contains the URL for it. save. There are other things. No, that will be my only table in the database. It's been 1 hour. That is fine. Okay, I have this. Let me create another bucket. No, one bucket is cool. One bucket articles and delete this thing. Shit, I have to submit stuff. Okay, and create folder icons. Right. Uh, yeah, cool. Mm, yeah, cool. Okay. Okay, I can upload stuff here and there also. Now I have database. Mm, yeah. Prevent other users from uploading or downloading. The bucket is public, so always use storage policies to control write access. Double check. Okay. I also have a table which I want write access only for myself and not for others. Mhm. For your ID. Okay. After this, of course, I will delete this database, this whole project, and create a new one so that if due to some reason you guys were able to see the ID and password, you won't be able to do anything. Step by step, all in the SQL editor or table editor, alter table, my table, enable row level security. Mhm. Okay, row level security. Okay, which means it must mean something. SQL editor, new SQL snippet. Yep, do this. Run. Not my table, but article. Yes, enable row level security. No rows returned. That's cool. Allow select read for everyone. Create policy. Allow read for anyone on my table. Articles for select. Create policy on this table for select to public using true. No condition. All rows enable. Hmm. Run this. My table. Yeah, yeah. Of course, my table doesn't exist. Articles. Let's run. And yep, cool. Restrict right to you only option. Base your superbase ID recommended. Let's say your superbase author UID something like ABC or ID. Okay, this means even if user logs in, they cannot write unless the UID matches yours. Okay, what is the UID? Or use a service role key for write. Create policy for service role for my table insert my to service role. This means only the superbase service role key never exposed on front end can write to database video token to UID paste write access if you are not using superbase auth. Otherwise public will always evaluate to null equals UID false. Never use service role key in the front end. It is like root access to your database. This thing when UID is this. Okay, articles is the only one I have. Okay, UID. What is my UID? I guess it comes from creating users. First of all, how do I see this UID? How I see my UID. Let's see, how do I see my UID? To find your service, user ID, UID, you have two main options depending on whether you are using service on or just service role. That is login via email, auth, etc. You can get your UID in JavaScript after logging in. Superbase auth. Okay, what is superbase auth? Connect your primary database, creating a database suitable for long resistant connections. That is not what I want. Suitable for long connection time. That is also not what I want. Session pooler. Reset your database password. Transition pooler. App frontends connection strings. ORM. Prisma and Visual mobile phone. App frontends. Not next one. React. Create React app. Yeah, doesn't matter. With Superbase. App.txt. Okay, I will have these things in the env utils. Create client. Export constant client. Superbase. Client ID and that. Okay, my password is just here. Import Superbase. Function page use effect get tool constant data to do await from it is code force is running now. What is this code.org and different thing? Code force is still down in Russian to English. Oops, maybe code force is temporarily unavailable right now and there are problems with your internet. Or there are problems, Corporate cannot reach our internet connection. Shit, it is still not working. Okay, I will have to continue doing this then after creating a bucket. Okay, I'm getting a bit overwhelmed. Ari Joshi, what if you do CP? You can do lead code hard easily without struggling much. Could not even do lead code easy doing CP for almost a year. Lead code hards are a cakewalk. Shit, that is very instructive advice. Write to your new project. Start it. Wait, what is my goal right now? My goal right now is, well, to get right access from one part and to get read only access for that. Okay, right access, or I can just upload from there. That would be cool. And skip. Yeah, I will add. I will write a CLI app later, and for now I'll just use this. Okay, table editor. Let's see. SQL editor, table insert, table database in this table. Yeah, tables. How do I add stuff? Edit table, not like that, but add data to the table. View in table editor. Yo. Run off API. Copy, edit table, duplicate table, view policies, export data, insert. Yes, insert row. ID automatically generate. Title, this will be called, let's say, Krebs cycle URL of the post, or maybe like MC Escher impossible cube, and the URL would be, go to dashboard, whole storage, articles, icons, shit. Upload files. I would like to upload this thing. Uh, rename rename to whole.png or impossible cube, and in article delete this thing. Delete. Yep. Upload a file, and that file will be this. In terminal, in holes, and cd pack, and hello.md. This is about the impossible cube, which was created by MC Escher. Escher is also talked about in GEB by Douglas Hoft. I have the book right here. Hof's Hofstadter, who is German. That should be cool. And now upload file to article, of course. Upload file, documents, programming, projects, hello.md, and that should be cool. And now I will get the URL for these things. Get URL for the article. Date will be automatically given, and icon get URL for this thing. Get URL here and save. No, date should have been there automatically. Set to now. Yes, cool. Yeah, I have one table in my database. Now I would like to access the database. Example, use front end for reading data. Public anon key and public key. Service role, public anon key. Now I'd like to connect from app frameworks. Connect with React. Shit. This is my thing. Whole n.env dot local paste and in utils dot superbase, which exports the superbase thing. I do not have a utils folder, but I will create it inside source or inside library. Yeah, utils.ts. That is cool. And export this from there and go to app.tsx. and don't do this, but instead import supervise from utils, right? And how do I then read the data in app.tsx? Tools. Oh yeah, I will also create TypeScript support for this thing. Use effect get tools, define the function, and then call the function. A constant to do's dot select await superbase dot from table name dot select. Effect const get data equal data equals superbase dot fetch dot channel get channel auth storage real time functions superbase dot from from articles dot select and console dot log data or more like it more like use state what the fuck const data set data use state null initially and here data which is initially null after getting it console dot log data and also set data to well, that is very bad naming scheme data and data and then get data function and also it's now it should work I guess. Bunny start refresh. Is there something can inspect console? Nope. Process is not defined. uh, utilities line 10. Let me add these things. Line 10 process.tmp. Okay. Dot process is a thing. Okay, for now let me put these things manually here, or maybe this file needs to be not here but delete not local. Maybe this was the problem. Let's see. Refresh. Still error. Process not defined. Now on line 9th. This line. Okay. D and how do I go to the end of the line? Yep. Yeah. We find this paste and this and this. Right. D this right and this and D this paste. Right. Now it should be better. Yeah. Now it should be cool. Stop, run, refresh. Minified React error. Okay, I do see some things. Fetch headers URL. Is this value data? Okay. I will have something called value, and inside value, I will have something called data, which is an array. Okay. Okay, and this also has to be like await, right? Async await and go to the end dot data. Right. And it is not a function. And yeah, I will have an array now. Refresh. Hmm. Mm. This equals to this and that equals to that. Control V, run again. Let's see. Restart and shit. And it is not even download printing now. Console.log data. PC run again. I do get the data. Okay. Super baby. TypeScript support such TypeScript support install employees and then generating template. Okay. Movies. These types export JSON type JSON equals string name null. Mhm. Export type JSON interface data. Copy this thing. The types are generated from your database schema. Given a table public.movies, the generated types will look like. Okay, shit, I just have to do this. Superbase gen types TypeScript into database.types.ts. Cool. Only superbase. Does it work? Yeah. Um, 1x and paste. Project ID. I have to give a project ID. VZDMG. Project ID. Okay. Database.types.ts. Project ID is this thing. Copy, paste. That should work. Access token not provided. Supply an access token. Shit. Supply an access token. When is it asking for an access token? Public ID. Supervised gen types, TypeScript. Okay, generate the types. You can generate the types from the dashboard also. Okay. Mm, with super base reduction articles. Yes. Select contains the metadata for the articles column ID. And these are the columns and yeah, filtering bash. JavaScript. Okay, these are the things. Let data of type article. Okay, and what is type article contains? Introduction, URL and key. Oh, fuck. TypeScript types. Generate types, but I am unable to generate types. 1 hour 26 minutes. It will generate something like this. CLI to generate the types. Super base generate file. Um, yeah, super base generate. Automatically generate type definitions based on your Postgres database schema. Super base generate types. So wait, super base gen types. DB URL generate types from a database URL language. Okay, and what is the URL for my data base? It should be here. Database. This. This is this. This is this API docs. Is there a URL for this thing? API docs. Of type articles, yes. But brr, data or error. Okay, that is cool. Filtering is good. Database. Types. How do I create the types for this thing? So always gen types and then the flags. Flags. Okay, generate types from a database URL. What is the URL for a database? Output language. Maybe just this thing, I guess. It could be. Don't know. Copy. So is gen next superbase gen types and then db URL and this is the URL hopefully. This is not a database URL. I think yeah, failed bars decent debug slash articles. I think it is wrong. Resolving. Yeah, unable to resolve. Yeah, well, let's see with debug resolving and then it won't be able to resolve. Yep, cannot parse this, fail to parse DSN, invalid DSN. How to get superbase DSN database URL. Just the URL for the database would be cool. Shit, this thing. Okay. And this is to generate types, so I can put my password out for one time. Direct connection. I don't know my password. I might know. Yeah, I do know my password. This and replace password with my password. And I will hide my screen for a minute to see my password. Password, password, password. Password, password. Superbase. Yep. Whole copy and then paste. Let's see if it is working. I think it might be working, and it is not. Cannot connect to the Docker daemon. Is the Docker daemon running? Docker daemon is prerequisite for local development. Follow the optional. Then I would have to install Docker. Brew install Docker. Let me show my screen back. Show back my screen. Show my screen back. Same things. App frameworks. Okay, that is working good. Svelte Astro. With Astro, there should be Svelte is here. Vue is here. Okay. With Superbase, yes, that is the only option. Or I could be using white. Okay, shit, was that the problem? Okay. Rename this thing to .env. And maybe delete this thing and go there, rename this thing to .env. Yep, now jetzt es funktioniert jetzt. And here go back to how it was about 15 minutes ago. Yeah, like that. Save it. David, save it. Yeah, let's see if it is working now. Refresh and process is not defined. Okay. Why is process not defined? My LSP knows what process is supposed to be. Shit. Bun. Yes, shit, I'm using bun. Okay, okay. Bun env variables. Read environment variables are read. Process.env dot environment, or I can use bun. Stop this. Run it again. See, bun not defined. Okay, why the heck is my LSP not giving any error? Import bun, just bun and nothing else. Import one. Do I have to import one? Guess yes. Is set import one from there. Think that might work. Let's see. Refresh. No. Well, at least I am not seeing any error. That is cool. But I am not seeing anything. What is TW merge? Tailwind merge. Get data and work with that. We go to the end, copy, and instead of this, we fill this, paste with this, right? And go back, till this, go there, yeah. We go to the end, copy, paste. I can remove one import and get data, log data, stop, run, restart. Okay, minified React, that is some error which I don't know what it means. But other than that, we have this. Take the first thing. Lucid React. Shared. That is, I guess, coming down from shared CN. Lucid React is used for icons, beautiful icons. Now after this, go stop, restart. That is cool. I'm getting that much, but uncaught error, minified React error. Maybe inside here. Not data here dot map. Okay, sure. Okay, not if, but data is not data. If data is there, then map, then data dot map dt, and for every dt, what we have to do is return div. Yeah, expected that. Yes, you would be expecting that, won't you? Nothing. And here inside have dt dot title, and then yeah, this have more of these, and this title, and I have URL, I have icon, img image, yes, and let's see, source is going to be dt dot t dot URL, and another that URL is for the article. So let's get logo or icon. What is it for? Icon. Icon. Let me have icon and date. Yeah, date is just date. Div dt dot date. Implicitly type any. That is fine. Mhm. Stop. Rerun. See, now it is cool. It is actually pretty cool. MCHR, impossible cube, date, and icon. That is cool. We have made some progress. And what else? How am I getting the data? I'm using these things directly here. That is fine. That is fine. That is fine. Like, does not matter. That is fine. Read this thing. App.tsx. Here I'm just getting the article. Okay, now what I want is automatic types for this thing. Yes, TypeScript support. So always TypeScript support. Yes, that is what I want now. Is TypeScript still relevant in 2025? Shit, yes, of course, I guess. In generating TypeScript types, npm install superbase save dev and then npx superbase login npx superbase init npx superbase login create a new create a new window and rename the window to terminal projects whole 1x superbase login. Hello from Superbase. Press enter to continue. Open browser and shit. Let me hide my screen for a second. No, more than a second. Shit, what the heck is this? Superbase account is being used to log in into Superbase. Okay, browser login. After authorization, enter this verification code. Okay, this is the code. Yo. Okay, that was easy. Let me unhide my screen. Now I am logged in to Superbase. Clear Superbase 1x Superbase init generate VS code settings for Dino? No. Intelligent settings? No. What did Superbase init does database or types? It is initially empty. Superbase dot toml file. Okay. Now after Superbase init project ID schema Blake blah blah. Okay. This line this project reference is this whole project ID is whole project ref is I suppose whole my yeah I guess it is whole and then or in case of local development yes it is local development so base gen types local shit okay with 1x superbase gen type scribe typescript local database dot types dot ts failed to inspect service cannot connect to docker daemon. Oh fuck, is the Docker daemon running? To install Docker. It should work now. Banex. Fuck. For local development, do this. Otherwise, do this. Let me make do with this. Mhm. Whole, I guess that is the right thing. Paste and pix is not found, of course. One next superbase, then types, TypeScript, project ID, whole, schema, public, view database, not TypeScript, not TS, and work. Tu musun yes function. Try rerunning the command with debug. Ah shit. So is gen type flag. Okay, the command seems to be wrong. Gen types, TypeScript, project ID, not percent but dollar hole. Dollar hole. Hmm. Again, okay. Superbase, gen types, superbase, gen types, type script, dash dash, project. Okay, fuck. Project is nothing, it is project. How to move cursor faster on Ghosty. Ghosty cursor concepts. Yes, adjust the mouse tracking speed in your operating system settings. And then should okay, it is taking a bit of time. Project ID. Cursor, the cursor is the row and column where the next character will be printed. Yo, so many views. The cursor is always present in terminal and is located at some row or column with the active screen area. The cursor may be visually hidden, but the terminal internal state always has a cursor, and it is yep. Uh, mhm. However, the cursor is also used for location, state, parent, footnotes, for the hook. Okay, that doesn't make sense because I'm not forcing myself to make it make sense. But next, so ways I want TypeScript types. A little type laser. Let's see. Shit. And the font for this is intentionally larger than usual to increase their radar cross section. Shit. 77, 77 is bad. Transformers by Dark of the Moon. And Transformers Dark of the Moon. It is from a movie. Shit, 77 is bad. Horrible. This is still going. Context cancelled Superbase. Run and in database dot types. Okay, there is something now, but everything is wrong. Resolving. Guess I have to wait it out. Oh, I want TypeScript, type checking. Yeah, this is what I will use for my back end and this for my front end. Front end part is working. I just want TypeScript, type checking for connection to my database, and then we will begin to write. No, I will not use Figma or something like that. I will just directly write the front end. It seems he said that he never uses Figma, and he doesn't even know how to use Figma. He just goes on and writes the thing that he wants to write. Chat. So base local, copy this, p, guru start, next, and whole. That is the project ID, right? No, no. That is not the project ID. Project ID is this thing. Shit. Copy, with paste. Let's see. Shit. I have to wait for it to work. Let's go to type tracer. In the meantime, let's see. If she and I were the only ones left in the world, if we stared into each other's eyes like this for all eternity, would my world be reduced? Shit. That is very horrible. 70 FPS is very, very horrible. I guess I have to use this link, the local one. 1x and TypeScript local into this. Yes. And it will give error. Yep, failed to inspect. Service cannot connect to Docker daemon at this. Is the Docker daemon running? Docker desktop is prerequisite for local development. Follow the official docs on docker.com desktop. W for Intel Mac Silicon. That is what I have. Downloads, programs, save. 500 MBs. Okay. I suppose that will not create problem here. Upload is speed is fine. Still, that is cool. In the meantime, let's understand what is Docker. Shit, that is crazy. What is Docker? Docker is a tool that packages software into containers so it can run reliably across different computing environments. Let's unpack that like a child seeing a box of Lego bricks for the first time. The problem it solves. When you develop a program, it might run perfectly on your laptop, but when you try to run it on server, someone else's machine, or even your own system, a few months later, it breaks. Why? Because different OS versions, missing libraries or dependencies, conflicting environment variables. It is often called "it works on my machine" problem. Okay, what Docker does, Docker solves this by putting your app and everything in it, the code, libraries, system tools, runtime into one neat container. This container can run anywhere Docker is installed, Linux, Mac, Windows, cloud servers, etc. Think of a Docker container like a mini computer inside your computer, custom built to run one program. Okay, image, a snapshot, template of your app and its environment. Think of it like a recipe container, a running instance of an image. Think of it like the dish made from the recipe image. Okay, container is a running instance of an image. Okay, Docker file, a script that defines how to build a Docker image. You write steps like install Node.js. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Docker file would be necessary because if your app runs on Node.js, you would not install Node.js, add Node.js into your Docker file, into your image, right? That would increase the size of your image way more than it is supposed to be. Docker engine, the runtime that builds and runs containers. Registry like GitHub for Docker images. Docker Hub is default one. Okay, why use it? Consistency and runtime runs everywhere, isolation, portability, lightweight. Example, let's say you are building a Node.js app. Instead of asking others to sudo apt install Node.js, and then you can write a Docker file from node 20 work there will be called app, copy everything from here to here, uh, copy everything from the file to this folder. Okay, run npm install, then command node index.js, then docker build my app, and then docker run my app. Boom, your app runs in a clean, predictable environment every time. Okay, I am trying to look at it from an abstracted point of view. And I guess I will be ending my stream in just 2 minutes because this thing is not working. I have to set up Docker before and then get the types in, and yeah, set up Docker to get the types and then start working on the application. Just that, start directly working on the front end. I am now able to get data from the Superbase database in a secure way, in a way that it is only readable, and I am the only one who can upload data there. So that is pretty cool. That is it. That would be it for today's stream. I have to wait for 1 more minute to make it up to 2 hours. And in that time, is there something fun that I can do? Yep, there is something fun that I can do. This thing, purpose games or Jetpunk, yep, Jetpunk. Europe capitals. It has been quite a bit since I did this last. Okay, start quiz. Capital of Albania is Tallinna, Tirana. Tirana. Let me fix this. Yeah, Tirana, and Andorra is Endo, Andorra La Vella. Austria, Vienna, Belarus. Where the fuck is Sof Sofia is Bulgaria is shit. Belarus is Minsk, and then Belgium, Brussels, Bosnia, Sarajevo. Yeah. And Croatia, Zagreb, Czechia, Prague, Denmark, Copenhagen, Estonia, Tallinn, Finland, Helsinki, France, Paris, Germany, Berlin, Greece, Athens, Hungary, Budapest, Iceland, Reykjavik, Ireland, Dublin, Italy, Rome, Kosovo, shit, Kosovo, Praia, no, Praia, no, Praia is Cape Verde, Kosovo, Pristina, fuck, Latvia, there, northeast, of course, Riga, of course, fuck, Liechtenstein, I guess it is Liechtenstein, no, it is something else, Valletta, Valletta is Malta, shit, Vaduz, well, Latvia is Vaduz, Lithuania is Bratislava, that is fucking Slovakia, shit, Lithuania is Vilnius, Vilnius, fuck, yes. And Luxembourg is Luxembourg. Moldova, Chisinau, see now. Monaco is Charles Leclerc. Montenegro, Podgorica, Netherlands is Amsterdam. North Macedonia, Skopje, Norway, Oslo, Poland. Of course, why am I even thinking Portugal? Lisbon, Romania, Bucharest, Moscow, San Marino, Serbia, 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 Belgrade, Slovenia, Ljubljana, 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 Spain, Madrid, of course, Sweden, shit, Stockholm, shit. How am I getting stuck here? Switzerland, Bern, Ukraine, Kiev, UK, London, Vatican. Yeah, that is fine. Shit, I'm not logged in. And that would be the end of today's stream. Yep, this thing is not working. So what I have to do is get Docker installed, see how it works and everything it does, and then get TypeScript support for Supabase locally. And that is the end of today's stream.